Sup, bitches, and welcome back to Nerdgasm. I'm the king, Kaleb Koho, and we have another great triple threat between two new people and one person that we have seen fight before. Richard Schwartz, Kirk Kowalkowski, Dave Goodger. It's going to be a great triple threat. But to here, help me judge words. Andrew Barr, how are you doing, Andrew?
At least I have plenty of words to go around for both of us. Let's get this started. I'm excited.
Dope. And one of the general managers, head showrunners of Nerdgasm, Cody Newberry. How you doing, Cody?
What's up, bitch? That was one of the best cold opens you ever did, and I'm glad we brought it back. This is going to be fun. These are three people. One that I've debated, one has judged me, and I was on his former podcast. So this is a good time had by all. I think there's a favorite in this, but I don't want to say that. So I think it's going to be a good fight. I hope they all prepped and don't concede any points, even if you're getting your ass kicked. Okay? Thanks.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead. We will go over to our competitors, starting with one of our new debuting players, Kirk Kowalkowski. Kirk, welcome to Nerdgasm. And are you excited to debate tonight?
I'm very excited. Always out to give opinion, give a hot take. You guys know me. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Over to our other new player tonight, Dave Goodger. Are you excited to finally step into the ring of Nerdgasm?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what I'm doing here. I clicked the link. I thought this was one for the Jackbox. Is this not? Look, I'm here. I'll have some fun. See what I can do. Yeah, let's go.
Absolutely. And to our returning player who won his debut last we saw him, it's Richard Schwartz. Richard, are you excited to be back in Nerdgasm? What do you think?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm always down to doing some debating. I won a match, lost a match, and I just got to take my time, calm down. Sometimes the words can get the best of me, so I'm ready to have fun. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Then we'll get into the first question. Cody, explain to them how the rules work while I pull up their question.
Yes, this is like how all the other triple threats have been. It's going to be more of a free form instead of a time limit. You're going to get a minute opening. Then you're going to get free form, where each person's going to get a time to set the stage and beat the shit out of other people's options. Then, once our lovely judges, me, Bar, and the bitch in the purple, once we all decided that we've heard enough, we will wrap up the arguments and have them close it out with another minute. First 3 points wins it all. Hopefully this is the last triple threat we have to do because they're a little longer than everything else, and then we'll get back into like season where we can get one-on-one matches. But it should be a good time. Yeah, I think that's it, right? Cool.
I believe so. So your first question tonight is from Star Trek, and it is, who is the best member of Picard's crew? Dave, you will go first. Time begins when you start talking for your opening.
Okay. The best member of Picard's crew. It's in his title. First officer. It's Riker. How could it have been? The creators, when they made the show, wrote the show, they put it there. He is the first officer. He is the Picard's right hand. When Picard is off, getting himself assimilated by the Borg, he takes over. He's the one. He steps up. He leads them all. He's not there for muscle. He's not there for cultural diversity. He's not there to be a knockoff of previous characters. He's his own man. He's got the best damn beard in space. He is a heartthrob. He is strong. He leads well. He leads by example. The only reason he is not a captain of the Enterprise is because he's up against Picard. If it weren't for him, it would be his ship. It would be Riker's ship. That's what I need to say. He is. It's first officer. Job done.
All right.
That's perfect.
We'll go over to Kirk now for your opening time begins when you start talking.
Okay, we're talking about Star Trek, right? What's Star Trek all about? It's about new life, new civilizations. And the best crew member of Picard's crew is literally a brand new life form we've never seen before, and that is Lieutenant Commander Data. The android, the being, the entity that is coming into his own, who spends the show learning who he is, what he is, and just from the start to finish, he has the best story arc of any of the characters. He actually develops and grows. Everyone in his episodes is interesting because he's absorbing new things. So it's like seeing like the world through a child's eyes watching Data. And I believe he's also played by the best actor. Brent Spiner, I believe, gives the performance, maybe the best performance out of the cast, definitely out of these three choices today. So overall, I think Data is the best and most interesting character in Picard's crew.
All right, and now we'll go to Richard. Time begins for your opening when you start talking.
My choice is Lieutenant Worf. Worf is a Klingon. At the age of 5, his birth parents were killed and was raised by Federation parents. So when he, in 2057, he enlisted in Starfleet Academy, became a commissioned officer in 2361, was originally a flight and technical officer, and then was promoted to Chief of Security when Lieutenant Natasha Tar died. Lieutenant Worf has the honor of the Klingon warrior. He always follows order. He has super strength. He has technical knowledge. He has always been loyal to the Federation, always been loyal to the Klingons. He's never dismayed one or the other. He always puts his feelings, his personal feelings. He owns it when it comes. He's all about personal business. He is the best crew member of the Starship Enterprise. Michael Dorn does an amazing job, and I'll go into it more once we get into it.
All right, freeform starts now. Dave, you get first words now as we get to freeform.
Okay, so you have to bear with me as much. So what is this? What am I doing now? Am I shooting them down? Because they've pretty much done that themselves with these choices. But I mean, Data is his own worst enemy. I want to be human. I'm a little Pinocchio thing, but I want to be a real boy, but I can't be a real boy because I'm an android. Yeah, he's an android. He's an android. No, but I need to use the computer. He's not a very good android. He still needs to use another computer to get things done. He trips himself up so many times. I've got a brother. I'm gonna betray all of my crew to be with this other one of me who's a little bit more fun than me. I try to be funny. I can't be funny. Why can't? Because I'm not who I want to be. Even in one episode, yes, I can read Wikipedia as well, Richard. Even in one episode, yeah, tried to say he wants to kill himself. Now doesn't make sense for being an android or a human. As a character, he just falls down. Worf, yeah, okay. Let's go through Wikipedia of Worf. He was 1940, whatever year it was. I don't know. It's the wrong franchise for me. In 1966, Gene Roddenberry created Star Trek. See, Wikipedia, it works. That was a parable for cultural diversity. We had everyone there. We had black, we had white, we had Asian, we had women, and it was Russian, Japanese, everyone all together. Let's bring everyone together. In 1987, they didn't need that because it was pretty much accepted. So what we're going to do now, we're going to bring in different alien species. So yeah, let's bring in the ethnic minority of a Klingon. He wasn't even meant to be in the first series. Tasha Yar was the chief of when Denise Crosby decided she didn't want to be in the series anymore. That was it. She was out of here. She was gone. And we need someone to do security. Let's give it the big black guy in the corner. Oops, that's good. Yeah, Riker, he's been there, he's done it, he's constant through it, he grows into his role. Riker's the man, first officer. I'm done. Next.
All right, so then we go to Kirk. So we'll go one more that way.
Okay, yeah, Data does use other computers because he is not the Starship Enterprise. He's a separate entity from the Enterprise. So, yeah, he has to use other computers. So if that's your biggest knock against him, it's kind of silly because having him be the ship would be a really stupid character. Riker is boring. You say he's not a total knockoff. He's an original character. He's not a knockoff. He is a total knockoff of Captain Kirk. The thing they learned about the show from the original series Next Generation, that how silly it was to send the captain down on every dangerous mission. So they wanted a Captain Kirk figure, and they hired this middle-aged Shakespearean actor as their captain, so they needed more of a man of adventure. So he's the stand-in Captain Kirk. He's the most unoriginal character in the cast. Jonathan Frakes is not a fantastic actor. he comes off like a generic TV soap opera character. You say he leads well. He's always very unsure of himself, always leaning on Captain Picard. The reason he's not a captain is because he continually refuses promotion because he wants to stay under Captain Picard because he's afraid to branch on his own, leave the Enterprise, do his own thing. You keep saying he's the first officer, but yeah, that's, Cyclops is the leader, this first officer of the X-Men. Cyclops is nowhere near the best X-Men. It's usually that leadership role is a lot of time goes to the most dull character, and that's definitely Riker. As far as Worf goes, extremely one note. Honor, you have no honor, I have no honor. Michael Dorn is not, out of these three, he is definitely the weakest actor. Just the way he tries to portray that honorable character just is so incredibly one note. And, Worf doesn't have an arc. He's the same all the way. He's like, oh, I'm a Klingon, but I'm the Federation. I have honor with the Federation. I have to have honor with the Klingons. That's his whole thing. He's very generic, very one note. Data out of these three is the most unique character. He is the most. He has the things they can do with the most. I think he probably had out of any character in the show has the most individual episodes because you could do the most with the character, and he's the character people want to see, people want to watch, people want to follow. Do I have more time? I keep going.
No, you're good.
You're good. Now we'll go to Richard.
Okay, first of all, the problem with Riker, like Kurt said, he is extremely boring. First of all, Picard didn't pick Riker to be his first officer. He was already assigned when Picard came on the Enterprise. The most interesting thing about Riker is the fact that he grew a beard. He doesn't really do anything in the whole show. The only thing he really does is doubt himself and argue with Picard. He just sits in the chair for most of the time, and then he just takes over when Picard leaves the building. Data is just like you're saying that Worf's a one-note character. Data is one-dimensional. He just talks robotic the majority of the time. He gets captured. He's also a liability to the crew. He gets captured and reprogrammed multiple times within the show and the movies. And the fact that he is an android, he doesn't understand empathy, or he's trying to learn emotions, he does not get by when it comes to understanding the crew's feelings. And that led the Enterprise to some disasters because he doesn't understand more cause friction. Worf is not one-dimensional. He grew up raised by humans. He does have a Klingon side and his Federation side, but he does struggle between the two. But that is the most intriguing part, him growing as not only as the human side, but also the Klingon side. He has the technical advantage, technical strategist. He's very intelligent when it comes to battling. He's very good at his job as chief security officer. And we're not talking about the most popular character in the Star Trek franchise. We're talking about the most useful crew member, the best crew member, and that is Worf, because he not only can he pilot, he can fight, and he follows orders. Unlike Riker sometimes breaks Picard's trust. And Data, again, he gets reprogrammed all the time, and he is a computer. He is a liability to the Enterprise. I'm good right there.
I'll go to Dave. We'll keep going down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, right. You'll hit the nail on the head with that. We're not after the most popular. We're not after the sexiest. We're not after the most in-depth. We're after the best crew member. It's Riker. He does his job. Oh, when Picard's not there, he just sits in the chair and is in charge. He's the guy that Picard turns to run the ship when he's not there. Yeah, okay, all he's done is grow a beard. It's more than Worf did. Yeah, Worf grew a ponytail out the back. Sorry, that got cut off. That was terrible. He's boring, you say. What more? I'm sorry, when you were looking for a guy to jump in and take the place like a first officer does, what you want is a guy that's boring, that steadies the proverbial ship, and away you go. I'm done. My case is made. I'm happy.
All right, Kirk.
Oh, if you're happy with that, Dave, I'm sorry for you. You say Riker does his job. All three of these guys do their job. They're all finished their job, but Data is the most, if we're going by who does the best job, obviously it's Data. He's the smartest. He's the strongest. Anything Worf can do, he can do better. Riker is just, he's boring. He's one note. He doesn't have much. He's just there. He's there to fill in that, like I said, that Captain Kirk position. You say Data, Richard. You said Data can't get by because he doesn't understand emotions. Yeah, that's called a story arc. That's called character development and growth. That's what he has, which Worf and Riker both completely lack in this show. You say that Worf is the most useful. Data is so much more useful. You say Data's a liability. Yeah, a couple times bad things happen. Yeah, I mean, Picard got turned into a Borg. Is he a liability? Everybody on that show has been kidnapped, lost. Geordi's always wandering off and getting into trouble. But he is much for story purposes, he's a liability. He's much more of a benefit. The benefit he brings to that crew far outweighs any liability. You look at the times he's harmed the crew so much more often than he has helped them, and more than these other two guys. Data is definitely the most interesting. I only bring up his popularity. It's the popularity because he's the most popular because he's the best. He's the most interesting. He's the one people want to watch because he has the most going on out of these three characters. Worf, yeah, he was born to he lived with humans, and now so he had to deal with being a human and a Klingon. And now he's in the Federation. So there he has to deal with being a human and a Klingon. Just the same thing over and over and over again with Worf. There's nothing new there, nothing fresh. And same with Riker. Like I said, he's dull. Data has, he tried making a kid for himself. He tried having a relationship. All these different things he does to try and discover what it is to be human. And we kind of discover that with him. We go on that journey. We're on a journey with Data. Not a figurative journey, not just a journey on the Enterprise. Data takes us on a journey. Worf and Riker are stagnant. They're right where they are. They don't change throughout the course of the series. Data change and develops and grows and learns more about what it is to be human. Unlike these other guys, they're just the same from Farpoint to Best of Both Worlds. I'm not sorry, Best of Both Worlds. It's All Good Things. From Farpoint to All Good Things, they're the same.
Richard.
Data does not change. He maybe once time smiles or has like a funny joke, but he stays the robotic part throughout the whole show. He's not. I don't know where you're talking about the story. That was so intriguing. He's just a robot trying to become a real boy, like Pinocchio, like freaking Dave said. Riker, he doesn't really do anything other than argue with Picard and doubt himself. Like there's really nothing he can do. Like he was one of probably the most boring first officers throughout the whole Star Trek series. Spock was more of a intriguing character than Riker. Chakotay was more intriguing first officer than Riker. Worf, we're not talking about popularity. We're talking about best crew member. And first of all, you talk about Data's been on other shows. So has Worf. Worf has been on Deep Space Nine. He was during the original series, like in the movie. He appeared in the original Star Trek movies, Captain Kirk and all that. So he's been just as much as Data has been. Worf has never given up any secrets for the Enterprise. He has that strength, the Klingon honor to never betray the Federation or the Klingon Empire. Riker is a constant doubter. He will probably eventually, if he hasn't already, betrayed the Enterprise because of the doubts. He has a weak mind compared to the other two. And Data has definitely betrayed the Enterprise when he gets reprogrammed all the time. So again, like I said, Data is a liability. Worf, the best crew member is someone you can rely on, someone you can trust, someone who can do their job to their fullest. And that is Worf. He is able to pilot. He is able to he's able to fight. He's able to understand orders and take orders, unlike Riker and Data.
All right.
What we're going to do here is we're going to go to final thoughts, starting with Dave. So your final thoughts when you start talking.
Okay, look. It's been said many times by you guys, he's boring. He doubts himself. Of course he does. This is the flagship of the Federation. Okay? Yeah, he said he doesn't want his own captaincy. No, I'm sorry. I'd rather be number 2 on the best damn ship in the Federation, yeah, than accept a post elsewhere. You're working under the best captain there is, on the best ship there is, and he is, let's be brutally honest, the second best member of crew on there, because it's Picard. If we're going to go elsewhere, okay, it's Picard's crew, so you can't pick Picard. So you go for the next one down. The next best after him is Riker. He's boring. Who cares if he's boring? He's the best member of crew. Who cares if he doesn't have a story arc? He's the next best member of crew. That's all there is. It's there. I'm done.
All right. We'll go to Kirk for your closing when you start talking.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure Dave just admitted that Riker is boring and has no story arc. So thank you very much, Dave. You accepted my point. It's not highest ranking crew member. It is best crew member. And Richard says that Data is a dangerous. I mean, I think maybe 1 or 2 times he's been reprogrammed. But yeah, he has weaknesses. He has, he has foibles. That makes for an interesting character, unlike Worf, who is the same. I am honorable, and I will not be shaken from my honor. That's Worf, completely one note. Data is interesting. He has the most to do. He has the most growth and development. He has the most to learn. Even though he's the smartest person on the ship, he also has the most to learn about being human, about being a member of that crew. He interacts with the members of the crew better than anybody else. He has very unique relationships and friendships, and he's learning different things from all these characters. He's the best character. He's the best to watch. He's the best on the ship. He's, you can't argue that he's not the best crew. He's, like I said, smartest, fastest, strongest. Anything he can do on that ship, he can do better. But he is also the most interesting character to watch as from a viewership perspective. He has the most going on, the most to do.
All right. And we'll go to Richard for your closing when you start talking.
We're not talking about popular. We're talking about best. We're talking about who is the better crew member. Who do you trust? Who do you rely on? And that is Worf. Worf, like I said, strategics. He can fight. He can take orders. Dave has not mentioned anything about Riker other than the fact that he's the first officer. Why, what reasons his is the best crew. And Kirk's just talking about Data, just the fact he's going the most popular route. I mean, Data is not best at everything. He doesn't understand motion, so he's not the best at that. And he is a liability. That alone makes him the weakest crew, probably one of the weak, not the best. Because if he gets reprogrammed, he's betraying everyone. Worf is the only one who has the Klingon side. And you talk about, boring personality. It's nothing to do with personality right now. We're talking about the best crew member. Someone who would not give up information to Starfleet Enterprise. Someone who can do their job to extraordinary effect. Someone who is able to work well with others. That is Worf. He will never give up secrets. He's always faithful to the Enterprise. And he never disobeys any orders from Picard like Riker and Data have.
All right, I'm going to go to Cody first on this one for your thoughts. Where are you leaning and why?
If Dave kept the same energy the entire way as he started, I would have to lean with Dave. But I think that he got pretty confident in his choice and used that confidence, and it kind of was a little bit arrogant, and it didn't pay off because he didn't give me enough to tackle. Besides, he makes a great point. It just, I think Kirk going next kind of hurt it. My vote goes to Kirk on this one because I think Kirk was able to counter everything Dave said, even though if I agree or don't agree. But yeah, that's what I would say. Kirk.
All right, we'll go to Andrew. Where are you leaning and why?
Yeah, I agree with the fact that if Dave had kept up everything that he had in his opening, this would be a lot easier pick. However, Cody's right. Kirk really countered everything that Dave threw at him really, really well. And then Dave and Kirk both started kind of beating on Riker. With that said, I think that I'm actually probably going to go with Richard. His closing actually was really, really strong. I think he picked I think the way that he tackled the question really worked in his favor. So I'm going to go with Richard.
All right, so it comes back to me. I got to agree with the other two. Dave, your opening would have won you this if we were just going purely on openings. It might be the best opening argument of the year. It was incredible, but you kind of lost the momentum going forward from there. So it came down to Richard or Kirk, and I'm going to lean slightly more towards Kirk. I think Kirk's argument was stronger in the middle rounds. I think Richard was able to give me a really strong closing, but everything in the middle, he kind of conceded a couple points to Kirk, which gives it just a little bit of an edge. So Kirk, you're going to get the first point as we move to the second round, which is our Star Wars question, which is who is the best Star Wars sidekick? Richard, you'll be going first on this one. Time begins when you start talking.
The best Star Wars sidekick is Chewie, Han's right man. He is a fantastic pilot. He is the lovable guy that Han and Chewie work together really well. He's always there at Han's side, never steers away, always does his best. and he is one of the most lovable, and fans love him, the people love him, Han Solo loves him, Luke Skywalker loves him, no one hates Chewbacca. He's an awesome dude. He's from the planet Kashyyyk. He's good with weaponry. He can fly the Millennium Falcon, and he has super strength. There is no other best sidekick other than Chewbacca himself.
All right,
And so I can see the rest of my time.
We're gonna go to Dave next. Who'd you pick? And go ahead and give us your opening.
Okay. The best sidekick in the Star Wars universe. It's one that was there at the very beginning, saw his way through. He has been a Padawan. He's been a master. He's been a teacher. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was there as a Padawan to one of the best Jedis of his generation in Qui-Gon Jinn. He grows through, takes young Anakin under his wing, guides him through to become a Jedi. Once he's gone, he then looks after Luke from a distance, keeping him safe on Tatooine until he's old enough, takes him under his wing again, starts teaching him the way of the Jedi, and then even guides him from beyond the grave. He's always at his side. He's always at one side or another. He's a sidekick. The best sidekicks across the world of anywhere have their own spin-offs. Oh, guess what's coming on Disney Plus? Oh, yeah, the Obi-Wan series. Best sidekick.
All right, and we'll go to Kirk for your opening once you start talking.
I really think there's only one real answer for this, and that is R2-D2. If you go all the way back to George Lucas's influences in creating Star Wars, you go back to Kurosawa's Hidden Fortress, and you see the origins of these characters that, Greek chorus / comic relief / audience insert, where you see the point of view through their story. I mean, that's where C-3PO and R2-D2 came from. And it starts there. It starts with that idea of the small character who looks like he can't help, like he can't do much, but he ends up being the most important character that you see. R2-D2, I'll go through all the times in the Star Wars saga where if it wasn't for R2, the story ends. Everybody's dead. Everybody's captured. The story's over. R2 is the most important sidekick. He's lovable. He's cute. The beeps and whistles. He's a lot of fun. Grown-ups love him. Kids love him. He's a great foil for C-3PO, and that relationship is one of the hallmarks of the entire saga. They're the one through line through all the movies.
All right. So now you're in free form. We'll go Richard, then Dave, then Kirk. Same thing we did last time, guys. You have a minute as we go through. So we'll start with Richard, and we will move along. So go ahead.
All right. The problem with R2 is just he's been very inconsistent with the whole Star Wars franchise films. Like, his powers were OP in the prequels. He was okay in the original, and he did really nothing so far in the first two, Episode 7, Episode 8. R2 is maybe everyone's favorite. I wouldn't necessarily best. He's definitely one of the top seller merchandise for toy sales. I think that was one of the reasons why R2 was created was for toy sales. And as for Obi-Wan, I don't really consider Obi-Wan a psychic. Only in Episode 1, Phantom Menace is the only time he's really a psychic. The rest of the time, like you said, he's a teacher. He's not a psychic in the original Star Wars trilogy. If anything, Luke Skywalker is the psychic, and it was just focusing on him as a psychic. Chewbacca is truly Han Solo's psychic. He is his second in command pilot. He's able to pilot. He's able to use multiple types of weapons. He repairs C-3PO one occasion in Empire Strikes Back. He is loyal to a fault. R2 goes off occasionally, sometimes on his own, granted to help out the crew, but when Luke Skywalker tells R2 to do something, he takes a while. Or even the prequels, Anakin wanted to do something, he goes on and do another. Not really liable if you can't follow orders.
Okay, now we'll go to Dave.
Okay, Chewbacca. Chewbacca's muscle. Han can't win the fights by himself. Han's mouth, but no punch, no strength. So he needs someone to keep him alive. That's Chewbacca. That's all he's there for. He's a great walking bodyguard. That's not a sidekick. That's someone to keep you alive. Yeah? If I wanted someone like that, I'd have Cody there by my side all day. Yeah, Cody would make a great bodyguard. He'd be a great chewer. I reckon he does a damn good impression as well. But anyway, R2, R2 is a plot device. Oh, look, we're on the Death Star. Look, find where the tractor beam is. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, I've managed to get into the top secret, really heavily protected detention center plans just because we need to find the princess. Oh, wait, no, hold a minute. We need to get into this door, R2. Plug yourself into it. Oh, it's the wrong one. You electrocuted yourself, you silly sidekick. Look, oh no, we've forgot to fix the hyperdrive. Oh, flick a switch. Oh, R2, just flick a... That's a plot device. That's not a psychic. That is some, if anything, out of the two, 3PO's the psychic out of that one. Yeah. Out of those combo, 3PO's the psychic. You saying Obi-Wan's not a psychic? R2's not. R2's the main character.
All right, Kirk.
Okay, first I'll go to Chewbacca. You say R2-D2 was created to sell toys. Chewbacca is a literal teddy bear. If anybody was created for marketing, it was Chewbacca. And I would say that probably, if you look at merchandising sales, they're probably pretty neck and neck. Obi-Wan, again, I agree with Richard. He's not the sidekick except in Episode 1. Otherwise, he's literally he's the teacher. He's the wizard. If you look at the archetypes, the hero's journey, he's the wizard. That's his character. He's not a sidekick. He just because he's a side character doesn't make him a sidekick. R2 definitely is a sidekick, but that's the whole point to him. Again, he's small, and again, it goes with the whole theme of Star Wars: is somebody small, somebody you don't expect, is the one that's going to save the day. And Richard, you're saying he's not reliable because he doesn't listen to orders. When he doesn't listen to orders, it's because he's smarter than the person giving the orders, and he does something better that's actually a better idea than what they were doing. And you said yourself, Richard, he's the one. He stopped the trash compactor in New Hope. He fixed the ship escaping Naboo in Phantom Menace. He fixed the hyperdrive. He is the most important character. And you call it a plot device, but he's a character in the movie doing something within the confines of the story. That's what he is.
All right, back to Richard.
Dave tells me that Chewbacca is not a bodyguard, that he's only there to keep Han alive. That's the whole point of a psychic, is to be a partner, to keep the other one alive. That's the whole point between Robin and Batman, Speedy and Green Arrow. They're there to keep each other alive. Chewbacca is able to pilot. He's able to do multiple things other than sell toys. He is compassionate. He actually, everyone was mad when he didn't win get awarded the medal. He's one of the few fictional characters to get an achievement award at the MTV Awards. R2-D2, again, you're saying if he thinks he's smarter than anyone else, he's not a sidekick either. He's just going off doing those things because he thinks he's smarter than everyone else. And again, R2's powers are very inconsistent. And he wasn't really a factor. He's now been replaced by BB-8. R2-D2 is not even a thing really anymore. He's just another android being replaced by another android. And he's cute doing the beeps, boop, boop, bop, and he's maybe a little OP, I guess. But again, he's more OP in the prequels. He really got his butt kicked from Yoda in Return of the Jedi. He gets his butt kicked in the original trilogy. Chewbacca is clearly the better psychic.
Okay, back over to Dave.
You say here that R2 is the smartest. He's literally only survives the first film because he's dumb luck. He can't even avoid a 6'7" tall Gungan, for crying out loud. The only reason he is out there, in the order he is because he runs into Jar Jar. Okay, R2-D2, Row 2, Droid 2. If it hadn't been for him, he'd been out there, he'd been blasted away from the others. Dumb luck, not smart, just pure lucky. Chewbacca, compassionate. He has shown compassion. He has shown emotion twice in the films he's been in. Once when Han gets frozen, and the other time when he gets killed. Oops, spoiler. That's all there is. Obi-Wan, you say he's not a sidekick. He is a sidekick to Qui-Gon. When you come to episodes 2, episodes 3, he's not, out of those two, of Anakin and Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan's not the main character. He's the oldest one. Just because he's the oldest one doesn't mean he's the leader. Out of those two, Anakin is the main focus of the whole 9 films, really. Especially the first 6. So that's the sidekick there. He's the secondary character.
All right, we're going to Kirk. And then after Kirk, Richard, we're going to start final thoughts with you.
Dave, you're confusing your terms again. Just because he's not he's a side character, he's not the protagonist. That doesn't make him a sidekick. He is the mentor to Anakin throughout the episode 2 and 3. He's not a sidekick. A sidekick is a very specific definition. He's not a sidekick. He's teaching Anakin. He's trying to guide Anakin. Towards the end, they become more equals, but he's never a sidekick at any point in that time. You said R2-D2 got his butt kicked by Yoda because he hit him with a stick a couple times. I don't understand how that's getting his butt kicked. And again, you say he's over. He is a sidekick just because he is smarter than everyone else. Maybe not smarter than everyone else, but he has his own ideas. He's intelligent and he knows what he's doing. And again, that goes with the entire theme of Star Wars. Something small, something you don't expect. It's going to come up. It's going to rise up, and it's going to get the job done. That's what R2-D2 is. Beyond that, he is, like I said, he is comic relief. He's funny. He's enjoyable. His relationship with C-3PO is funny. His relationship to the characters, with Chewbacca, with Yoda, that all adds to the story. And yeah, Chewbacca is kind of, if R2's too smart, Chewbacca's a little too dumb. He keeps screwing stuff up. He doesn't help a lot. He's getting Han in trouble a lot more times than he's helping.
All right, we're going to start final thoughts with Richard. Time begins when you start talking.
Just because no one can understand him doesn't mean he's not intelligent. Only Han and some other people can understand Wookiee language. He is actually very intelligent. He's able... Again, he's only been injured a couple times. He's never betrayed Han at all. R2 has short-circuited. He's an android. He does have limitations to come to battery supply. He's been taken down. And when Luke left, he just gave up. And he said, I'm turning myself off. Not really a great psychic if he just gave up on everyone because his little friend Luke went away. Obi-Wan lied to Luke Skywalker through the first movie. If he would have just told Luke Skywalker Darth Vader was his father, he might have had a better chance against Darth Vader, never been tempted to be in the dark side that he was. Obi-Wan is not a sidekick. He actually hindered Luke's progress throughout the original Star Wars films, and he's just boring.
All right, we're going to go to Dave. Final thoughts when you start talking.
Wow. Yeah, okay, look, just because he's not the one that's being taught, the whole psychic, he's a sidekick. He's a secondary character to the main character. Therefore, he's the side out of the duo. He's the psychic of the two, not in the literal Batman and Robin, not in the literal R2 and his sidekick 3PO. It's the main character and a secondary character. Yes, he's a secondary character. He's still the psychic with it. Chewbacca, he's clever. He's not. I'm sorry, his stomach rules that man there. Battle of Endor. If it had been stormtroopers around that lump of meat that's over the net, sorry, rebellion ends there. He's a liability when it comes to food. R2-D2, he just gets himself in trouble. Okay, he gets his head blown off in episode 4. Yeah, he does. In the Death Star trench, blown. He's gone. He's kaput. Should be. Pure dumb luck that he survives there. His powers are varying from he can fly, but then he can't.
All right, and Kirk, your closing arguments when you start talking.
And before I start, how much time do I have? Is it 90 seconds or
1 minute?
1 minute, okay. Okay, Dave, twist the words however you want. He's not a sidekick. He's a side character. R2 is he's the most fun. He's the smartest. He has the most going on. Yeah, he's doing his own little thing. He's doing his own little adventure. That makes the movie interesting. I don't know how the idea that he got shot in episode 4 is a problem. A lot of these guys got shot. And yeah, I also want to address the fact that BB-8 was kind of like took over his role in Force Awakens. Yeah, R2 wasn't Force Awakens too much. You know who else wasn't Force Awakens too much? Luke Skywalker. That doesn't make he's not important. He's not an important character to the story, or that he's not necessary to the story. He is the through line throughout these entire stories. He's the one that doesn't get his mind wiped. He knows what's going on, and he's following the steps. Again, he's the small character that rises up and takes care of everything, the one you don't expect, the one that slips under the radar, just like shooting down the Death Star, Luke shooting down the Death Star. It's all within that same theme, all within that same story, and R2 is definitely the best. He's the best sidekick.
All right. Since I was the deciding vote last time, I'll go first this time. I'm going to give my point to Dave. I think Dave in the opening and all the way through did a good job of like countering most of them. I know people kept throwing the barb of he's not a sidekick, but I mean it was an accepted answer, so it's hard for me to like it. That's your whole point. It's like it was an accepted answer, so I have to take that into account as well. So with that, I give Dave my point. We'll go to Andrew since you went second last time. Where you land this at?
I'm actually going with Kirk on this one. Kirk, I think, took down Dave with. If it wasn't for the fact that George Lucas, as Kirk brought up, modeled it after the hero's journey, Dave would have a good argument, but Kirk brought up that he is the wizard and he is a teacher. He is not a sidekick. Plus, Kirk brought up more often how R2-D2 actually helped the characters further in the story and why he was the most consistent when it comes to being the most helpful sidekick and why he was the most likable sidekick. So I'm going with Kirk.
All right. And Cody, where are you leaning and why?
Well, this is really funny. So per Nerdgasm rules, when the first two judges go, if you have a third one, you have to decide between the first two. You don't get to switch and pick the other. Because I was going Richard on this one, so that's very funny for me. But per in that we have that rule in place, Richard, no, sorry, you would have got my vote, but I can't. I have to go with the other two. So this is a tough one because I think the main hits on Dave were that he's not a sidekick, but we accepted it. So you can't, that's a semantic argument, which you can't win normally. Dave started to lose me at his closing. Like, he started like getting like that he shouldn't survive and stuff like that. I don't know if that makes it a good sidekick. He did survive, so but I'm gonna go with Dave. I'm gonna go with Dave on this one. So then it'll even that up. Even them. Richard, I thought you put up a good performance. These two are blind.
Is it just me, or was that the identical fight from the last one? I had the robot.
Almost.
Richard had the furry alien, and Dave had the old leader.
That is true. That is true. That is exactly true.
We'll see if we get that in the final one.
I mean, we'll see if that works, but the third one is not a character fight. We are going into Marvel, and it is the best fight in an X-Men universe film. Kirk, you'll go first on this one. Time begins when you start talking.
When I think about the best fights in an X-Men universe movie, I want to think about and I want to see an X-Men team fight. I want to see a fight that is reminiscent of the comic books, of the old cartoon. I want to hear da-na-na-na-na-na in my head. And the fight that does that is the Alcatraz fight from X3 The Last Stand. I'll get out there right now. We're not arguing best movie. We're arguing best fight. And this is the one where you see characters using their powers in a lot of different unique ways. You see them fighting as a team. You see them coming together as a team. You see their story arcs being completed through this. Throughout the movie and throughout the entire trilogy, you see these characters really come into their own in that fight. You have some really cool baddies. You got Magneto. You got Pyro. You got Juggernaut, and you got Calypso. And it's just a really great fight. It's a team fight with the X-Men, doing what the X-Men do best, learning how to work together as a team, as a family, as a unit, as a group. And that's what you see here. Wolverine, Beast, Iceman, Colossus. You got all the heavy hitters.
All right. This time we will go to Richard second. Time begins when you start talking.
The question is, best X-Men universe fight scene. Universe, which means any movie or that exists within the X-Men franchise, which is the best one fight scene, is clearly the Deadpool freeway scene in Deadpool 1. This fight scene introduced, first of all, there was a little tease of it before even the movie got made, and it got so fans hyped up that people wanted this movie happen, and 10 years later, it absolutely happened. It was freaking amazing. It set the tone for what the movie was about: violence, gore, and comedy. It had all three of those essential in that fight. It was Deadpool's probably the best fight scene in the Deadpool movie, and it is the best scene in the X-Men film universe fight scenes.
Okay, and we will go to Dave. Your opening arguments when you start talking.
Best fight scene in the X-Men universe comes from quite possibly the greatest sequel in comic book movies, not just X-Men, in comic book movies. It's X2. It's the beginning of X2. It's the introduction of Nightcrawler. It's the White House attack. One after another, from the outside to the Oval Office, through the best, and finishes it off perfectly. That's the best.
All right. We will go back over to Kirk for the rounds. So go Kirk, Richard, Dave. So go ahead.
Okay, Dave, you barely picked a fight. You picked the best action sequence. It's some cool Nightcrawler effects. He's shooting guys with guns and he goes to stab the president. Not much of a fight. Both of you guys, you got to pick a fight in the X-Men universe and you didn't pick the X-Men fighting. I don't get that. Both of your scenes are basically establishing shots for the movie. We're learning. Get to see Nightcrawler. Get to see the mutant rights now thing. We're setting up the movie with Deadpool. It's just setting up that character. It's a lot of gags, a lot of stale, dated jokes. But it's just more about like seeing that character. Like, oh, look, he keeps getting shot and nothing happens. It's over and over and over again. My scene, like I said, is a fight scene where these heroes are coming together to finally fight together as a unit. That starts at the beginning of this movie in the Danger Room, and it starts with and it develops to the end story. We see Wolverine coming into his own as a leader. We see the younger X-Men getting confidence in themselves to go ahead and fight. We see Storm getting her revenge against Calypso. We see these characters coming into their own again, like I said, not only through the first movie but through the whole trilogy for some of them. Yeah, you did say, Dave, your movie is the best sequel. Unfortunately, again, that's not what we're fighting. We're not fighting with the better movie. Best fight scene. And my fight scene is the best fight scene because it exemplifies everything that the X-Men are.
All right. We'll go to Richard then.
All right, I'll start with Kirk. Kirk, your fight scene was all over the place. You're saying that it was a fight scene where all the X-Men came together. The majority throughout the whole fight is they were separated. Kitty Pryde was, facing the Juggernaut. He's trying to rescue the boy. Beast was doing his own thing, fighting some people. Pyro was taking on Iceman. Storm was up in the air, lightning. And it was all over the place. The fighting was crowded. It was just hard to see. The camera angles were it was too shaky. It was going all over the place. You couldn't really have a consistent fight scene. Dave, yours was just, it was a little moment. The CGI got in the way for a lot of it. Like the whole Nightcrawler smoke blocked a lot of it. And yours was mainly CGI-based fighting. Deadpool had the combination of everything your guys had. It had what the movie was intended to be. It was what everyone wanted from a Deadpool movie, a fight scene. It had the humor, absolutely. That was the whole point of Deadpool's fight scenes. It had great fight scenes moments with the 12-round bullets. That was hysterical. It had him jumping through the car. He says, "Have you seen this man, Francis?" That was hysterical. It had violence. It had gore. It had everything that you would want in a fight scene. It had blood, gore, and humor. Once again, Kirk, yours was just all over the place. They weren't together the majority of the time. And then the scene ends when Wolverine impales the Phoenix by himself. And I'll leave it off there.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Okay, right. First about it's not a fight scene. It's not a gunfight. He's not stabbing people with a sword. He's not taking people on with claws. He's using his powers and literally flipping them, tossing them, punching them, kicking them. It's a fight scene. It's too much CGI. Yeah, because they really shot a hole in Ryan Reynolds' arm that he looks through and sees the guy with coming back on the bike. They really chopped someone's head off with that and had that splashed up against the freeway sign. The CGI in all of these. Was there too much? No. His powers of teleportation, it leads a cloud. Bang. It's an introduction. It starts off perfectly with him mimicking the thinking man portrait of JFK in the White House. Mimicking that. And he's up there and all of a sudden face comes up, the tail comes up, bam, he's fast the first guy, bam, teleportation, 2 down, bam, 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 out, going through. 21 men he took out on his own with no guns, no regens. These aren't simple mercs. These aren't green, untested mutants. These are the best law enforcement officers in the United States guarding the president.
All right, we'll go back to Richard. Kirk, not Richard.
Go back to me or Kirk?
Kirk, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, he's fighting normal guys with guns. That's what he's bamfing, getting shot at, bamfing, getting shot at. There's some cool tricks in it, but yeah, it's as far as the fight scene goes. If we were talking about best action sequence, I'd probably be on board with you. But again, if we're talking about the best complete fight scene, yours leaves a lot to be desired. And again, Richard, yeah, exactly. You proved my point, Richard. Have you seen this boy? Have you seen this man? Referencing a 25-year-old movie. That's the kind of jokes that we're getting in this fight in this scene. So as far as like the gore and the splatter on the first viewing is kind of funny, but like you're watching, you're like, this is kind of not that great because it's so just so dated and the references, and you're like, okay, yeah, he got shot again, now he got shot again, oh, he's getting shot, now he's shooting all those guys, look at all these different ways these guys are splattering all over it gets tired quick, it gets boring. Again, we're talking about fight in the X-Men universe, seeing these guys. And Richard, yeah, my fight was literally they were separated because they were in a battlefield, they had to be different places, they couldn't all fight as but figuratively, they're coming together as a unit, as a team. Kitty Pryde runs off because she has to go save the kid. Beast sends her to save the kid. They're working as a team, as a unit. You also have Magneto doing really cool stuff with his powers. A scene where he's throwing the cars up and Pyro's lighting them up and fire them, and the pawns go first. It's like a chess match. It's a battle, and it's shaky cam because they're giving you that like found footage, battle footage. That's why it looked like that. It was adding to the whole aesthetic of it.
All right, we'll go back to Richard.
Kirk's again saying that there's too much humor in the fight scene. That's exactly what we want in a Deadpool movie. That's exactly how the fight scenes are in the Deadpool comics. My fight scene accurately portray what the movie's supposed to be. All the fans wanted. Kirk, your fight scene was all over the place. It wasn't just because real life footage, because it was poorly choreographed. And yeah, you say Magneto did some cool tricks. What happens to him at the end? He gets stabbed with a bunch of needles, becomes human. And that was the worst ending way possible. And they ended it so badly. The best fight scene is what you want anticipated for your movie. And it just ended really bad. And it really took whatever fun was in yours away. And Dave, your X2 fight, it was kind of short again. And I wasn't saying mine did not have CGI. I was saying mine did not solely rely on CGI, which clearly did. Because that was the whole point of Nightcrawler's powers, was he's able to teleport and do all those cool flips. And also, that fight scene was fun, but again, that fight scene was probably the okayest, like great other than the Wolverine, and it slows down the plot from there. That actually hurts your movie, not necessarily because that fight scene was okay, but it slowly portrays your movie. Whereas mine, it kept the action going. It was exactly what you want from the Deadpool movie, the choreograph, the bullets, the humor, the gore. It was exactly what the Deadpool fight was supposed to be.
All right, and then we go back over to Dave.
I don't want humor from a fight scene. I want blood. I want gore. I want people fighting other people. I don't want them thinking, oh, let's see how many funny times I can make out that I've only got a few bullets left. Oh, I'm sorry, like X3, you said it's not about the film, it's about the fight scene. But we can't eliminate from this argument completely here the fact that it's one of the worst comic book movies ever made, and that contributes to it. That final fight scene contributes to the fact that it's I don't know, am I allowed to swear on this? I don't know. It's not a very good fight scene. It's all over the place. They're not fighting together. As you said, yes, it's a battlefield, but you're saying, oh, it's the X-Men coming together. They're not coming together. Calypso's fighting Storm. Is it Calypso? I don't know. She's such a terrible character anyway. Yeah. Kitty Pryde's going off against Vinnie Jones, who should never be anywhere near Juggernaut. Wolverine's too busy kicking some guy in the nuts. Beast flailing. They're not fighting together. They are solo fights. Let's have a little bit of him there. Let's have a little bit of her there. Let's do a little bit of this there. They're all over the place with it all.
All right. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll into closing, starting with Kirk.
They're all over the place because strategically that's where they're needed to be on the battlefield. They're being placed, they're being given orders, they're going where they need to go. So yeah, they're not shoulder to shoulder, but they're fighting as units. They're coming together as a unit. And again, going back to what I said originally, they are cohesing. We see them at the beginning, towards the end. There's growth. There's a character arc there for each of them. Like I said, it's the X-Men coming together. It's a team. Richard, I didn't say your jokes that your movie had too much humor. I said it didn't have very good humor. It wasn't very funny, and it did rely a lot on CGI with all the blood splatter and everything. My fight is a pure X-Men fight that ending with Magneto is fantastic. You see his arc turn where he rejects Mystique at the beginning because she turns human. Now he's human and he has to live with that. What greater punishment could you have for this villain than take away his identity, everything that he is? That was a fantastic ending of that fight, and it was a great fight altogether. Everybody using their powers creatively, everybody working as a team on different sections of the battlefield where they need to be, taking on different challenges and different problems, but it is a complete X-Men fight.
All right. We'll go over to Richard for your closing. Time begins when you start talking.
My scene is the best because it best describes what my comic book movie was supposed to do based on the comics. It is a Deadpool movie. It had everything that you want from a Deadpool movie. It has violence. It has the great fight scenes. It has CGI. It has gore. It has humor. Kirk's is just all over the place. They were not fighting as a team. They were fighting separate entities. And there was a lot of fan service in yours, which didn't work out great. And it had a very dissatisfying ending. And as for Dave's was a fun choice. But again, when you're taking on a bunch of humans, Nightcrawler all he does really is teleport and kick around. Those the mainly things. All he did was teleport and kick or punch people. Deadpool's fight scene was very creative. It had every element of Deadpool's creative side with the humor. It had the greatest action scene with the 12 bullets. And they also had a funny moment with him and Colossus and Francis. Mine was best how Deadpool was supposed to be in a fight scene. It was the best fight scene in the X-Men universe. Nightcrawler again was just
Time.
All right. And Dave, time begins for your closing when you start talking.
You said it there. Too much fan service? Dude, Deadpool, the whole movie is fan service. That whole fight scene, you said it in your own argument, that whole fight scene came from fan service. It's too much. It's not a fight scene. It's let's see how many sick jokes. Oh, I got shut up the buttocks. Oh, straight up Main Street. Oh, I've been shot here. I've been shot. It's just no. It's not a fight scene. It's a gunfight. It's not a fight scene. A fight scene is someone punching, kicking, twisting, flipping. Okay, X3 has got a bit of that, but they're not fighting together. It's not. It's what is it? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 men against apparently 300, and the 300 can't beat them. Sorry. The Spartans proved that sooner or later, master numbers will beat you. They should have lost. It sets up, my fight scene sets up the best X-Men movie. It sets up perfectly by setting up the plot, introducing a new character, and it's one.
All right. I'm going to start with Cody on this one if he's here. Cody, you were deciding about last time where you're leaning and why.
Oh, that's hilarious. Set up the best movie. I'm sorry, you did not argue Days of Future Past, so that's a confusing statement. The other one, Deadpool, also not funny. I will stand by that, but this is unbiased, I promise you. So I'm going with Kirk, and I'm going with Kirk pretty handily in this one. I think this is not close from the get-go, just because of 2 things that he attacked. One, I think everybody beat the crap out of Richard's choice, 100%. Like every time he could get a counter, he had 2 big punches to him, and I felt bad for him the entire fight. I think the gunfight still counts as a fight, but that's just I didn't give that for the semantics. But I think that Kirk used a great blow that I never actually heard a counter for, and it was that if this was best action sequence or like shot, you probably win with Nightcrawler, but if we're talking about an actual fight, it has to go with the Last Stand fight, which when I going into this, I was a little blown away that was the choice. But hey, Kelsey Grammer sure kicks ass in that scene, so I'll go with that.
All right, Andrew, where are you leaning and why?
It came down to Dave and Kirk for me. Richard, I kind of agree with Cody that every time you did get a counter in, 2 more blows would come in. And I'm gonna. I'm going to go because I think this person fought better. It was like a better fight. They had better counters. They had better hits. I'm going with Kirk as well. I think Kirk was able to counter everyone's arguments a lot better than everyone else was able to counter the arguments against them.
All right. So with that, Kirk gets the point, and we will move into the speed rounds. It will be Kirk and Dave. Unfortunately, Richard, you didn't get a point in the main rounds, which means we have to say goodbye to you for the speed round. But you did play a good fight. We will come to you again in post-match interviews. We'll go to the speed rounds. Cody, how does the speed round work for him?
All right, you're going to get so we don't do Battleground. We don't do anything different here. It's 40 seconds, 30 seconds. When we hear you first, you're going first. So as soon as you hear the topic that you like, go for it. If we hear you first, you will start the debate, and then the person will close it. Everybody understand?
And are we doing the repeat the question twice thing?
No, we're just once. It's a solo once.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say once. And your first question, according to the randomizer, came out of scores and soundtracks. And your question is, which is the better John Williams score, Superman or Jurassic Park?
Superman.
All right, so Kirk is arguing Superman. Dave, you are arguing Jurassic Park. Kirk, you are going first. Time begins when you start talking.
And I'm sorry, the time again is 30 then 40, or 40 then 30?
40 then 30, yes.
Okay. Superman is one of John Williams' most iconic scores. Like he wrote the theme for Fantasy Adventure for Star Wars. He ran the fantasy sci-fi with Star Wars, the theme for Adventure with Indiana Jones. He wrote the theme for superheroes with Superman. Richard Donner himself literally said that you can hear the word Superman in the song. Dun, 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 Superman. It's there right in the song. It is the most iconic. You get everything you need. You have so many great moments in that movie that weave the theme in and out. Kneel Before Zod in the Fortress of Solitude, where he crushes his hand, they play the trumpet. It's beautiful. Am I allowed to go against him? Jurassic Park is a beautiful score, but it doesn't really – it could be in any movie, or you could swap that out. It doesn't really say anything about Jurassic Park.
All right. All right, Dave, 40 seconds for your opening for Jurassic Park when you start talking.
Jesus, where do I go with this one? Yes, Superman is a good theme. Yes, it's a good John Williams theme. But by the time you come round again from 1970, whenever it was, to be honest, it was so long ago, he's still going and he's still reinventing. It comes out of nowhere. You're not expecting this. Na, 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 na. It is as iconic as the Superman one. Yeah, okay, you can hear Superman at the end of it, but you know where you're going. You don't need that to tell you what you're seeing. It flows through. You're seeing this sense of wonder for the first time, and it pitches so perfectly.
All right, Kirk, you have 30 seconds for your rebuttal when you start talking.
You don't need that strong connection to Superman for that song, but it's great that it's there and it helps, and it coheses that song to that character and that genre and that movie forever. Again, the Jurassic Park theme is pretty, but it doesn't, like, you don't hear that and think, oh, dinosaurs, oh, this scientific, great wonder thing. It's just a nice flowy song. The Superman theme is Superman. You can't separate that. You could pull the Jurassic Park theme out of Jurassic Park and still have that movie.
Time. All right, and Dave, your closer when you start talking.
I didn't realize I was talking about the sci-fi film Jurassic Sharks. Damn it, I didn't realize Williams did that one. Oh my God, all this time I was arguing the wrong film. No, sorry, that's a low blow. I'll take the low-hanging fruit when I can, though. You say you can take it out of it. You can't. It's with that sense of wonder when you're coming across the scene, across those fields, and you see the Brontosaurus jumping across. It's that sense of wonder with it all. It beautifully brings it all out into the opening. You sense.
All right. I'll go to me first. I'm going to lean to Kirk on this one. I think Dave got a little caught up in the rebuttal with the Jurassic Sharks bit and just couldn't quite rebound off of it. I appreciate the low-hanging jab, though. That was fun. We're going to go to Cody, who was biting his shirt at the end. Nope, not Cody. We're going to go to Andrew first, I guess.
No. Damn you, Cody. This was actually really, really hard because I feel like their arguments were actually very, very similar. Talking about how it was iconic and it fits the tone of the movie. And because of that, it's really hard to differentiate the two and pick one. Question: was the question score or theme?
Score.
Dave had the better score. Dave argued why the score was better. Kirk, I think, argued why the theme was better.
And Cody is freaking out. What's going
on? Okay. So I'm at a kind of a disadvantage on this. The reason why I wanted you guys to kind of decide it, Dave's closing cut out for me. My computer buffered. So I am basically
it was fantastic.
Okay, so he
made fun of me the whole time, didn't it?
The two judges can fill me in what I heard. When I popped back in, I heard the Jurassic Shark finishing of the Jurassic Shark thing, and then he talked about like the Brontosaurus and everything, like the sense of wonder.
That's basically the whole argument of the rebuttal.
Cool.
Yes,
that's basically.
I didn't think it was anything before Jurassic Sharks, but I just wanted to make sure. I think they both argued this question very badly because they just talked. I think Kirk battled theme, and I think Dave battled maybe score, but he at least gave me two moments: the drive into the park and then the Brontosaurus stomping. So on that note alone, he did give me the Zod. So they gave me two scenes. Fuck. I don't know. I just think the question was badly worded. Oh. I'm going to go Dave. I want to go to the final. That's just me. That might bite me in the ass in my future Battleground matches because Kirk's there. But
we're going to the final. Final question is in Disney animation. The speed round question is: who is the most underrated Disney animated villain?
I'm going with Hans from Frozen.
Okay.
I'm going with Claude Frollo for Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Okay. Dave, you talked first, so you'll have 40 seconds for your opening when you start talking.
Okay, the most underrated villain in a Disney movie is the one that 2/3 of the film you don't even realize he's the villain. The prince, the one that Anna falls for, love at first sight. Okay, you think, oh, he's brilliant, he's on her side, he's going to help her find it. Oh, wait, no, what we're doing is getting you out of there so I can take over the whole thing. It's 2/3 in the movie before you realise that. That takes a dark turn. That takes a lovely, wonderful, catchy theme tune, lovable, brilliant snowman. It takes it real dark, and it's all because the way that he's played and the twist there to take him to being the villain.
Time.
All right, Kirk, 40 seconds when you start talking.
Honestly, I forgot who Hans was, but now that I remember, it wasn't really that much of a surprise because they kind of telegraphed that twist and went for the whole thing where like, oh, we're throwing the whole fairy tale thing on its head, and the princesses have all the power. Kind of saw that coming that he was going to be the villain, and he's kind of forgettable. And other than being like the mustache twirling villain at the end, not that much special about him. Claude Frollo is. You want to talk about dark? This is one of the darkest Disney villains ever. I mean, he has a whole song basically about how he's lusting like sexually after a woman. I mean, he is dark. He is scary. He is devious. He is evil. He is like just like this like force of like religious power and hypocrisy. He's one of the most mature Disney villains.
All right, back to Dave. Rebuttal starts when you start talking.
Very well argued. The problem with that is Hunchback of Notre Dame is known as being a dark and twisted, and you know there's the villain. There it is. It's underrated. Hans is underrated because at the beginning he's not a villain. He is not portrayed as the villain. He's portrayed as a love interest who then turns into the villain. That's where the underrated is. He's not immediately there as a villain. You always know that he's going to be a villain in Hunchback.
All right, Kirk, you get to close it out when you start talking.
I don't get why being a surprise is makes him underrated. That's just part of the story. He's a surprise villain. And it turns out he's pretty generic once he's revealed a villain. He's just a snotty little prince that we've seen 1,000 times. Claude Frollo, we've never seen a character like this before in a Disney movie. Like I said, he's mature. He has a lot of mature themes around him. Yes, the movie is a little bit darker, but you still have like singing gargoyles and Jason Alexander and everything. It's very much a child's movie, but you have this like I said, voice of religious fervor and just everything that it brings that Victor Hugo's original themes into that storyline.
All right, I'm going to start with Bar on this one. Where are you leaning away?
Yeah, I think Kirk got me with this one. I think Kirk really hit the death blow once he says how Hans is very generic once the twist has been revealed. And Kirk did a better job explaining his character a little bit better. So I'm going with Kirk.
All right, Cody, where are you leaning away?
I have to go Kirk as well. Kirk, I think, took it. He honestly did the fun. He's like, forgot who it was, but now I remember. Thanks for telling me. And yeah, he sucked. And I was like, well, that's a way to argue it, and I appreciated it. So I think it was a lot closer than both of them probably expected, especially when you said the category. They were both like, no. But it actually worked out really well. They had a really great fight. But yeah, I think Kirk did an overall better job of selling it.
All right. Well, with that, your winner today, Kirk Kowalkowski, winning his debate debut in Nerdgasm. Great match today, guys. We'll go ahead. We'll get our thoughts with our winner right now. Kirk, you pulled off the win. How do you feel?
I feel really good about this. Two great fighters. I was very nervous. I knew who I was fighting because I know Dave and Richard both have very unique styles and very good, strong fighting styles. I didn't know if I was going to be able to counteract that. So I'm proud, to have competed with them and be able to come up on top. They both fought great. I think all three of us made the job hard for you guys every match. They all had good arguments. So yeah, I'm just glad to walk away with this one from the win.
Absolutely. With this, now you get that 1-0. You'll be back getting into a one-on-one match. Is there anyone you're looking to debate? One of our winners. I know there's someone that we are thinking of for you, but who are you thinking?
I'll take all comers. I'm kind of new to the whole nerd fight thing, so kind of just get my feet wet. So I will, whoever I got to go up against, bring it on. Let's do it.
All right. Well, we will see you next season when we bring you back. We'll go over to our second place finisher. I don't know what Cody's doing. We'll go over to our second place finisher, Dave Goodger. You put up one hell of a fight in your debut. Definitely some of the best opening singers I've ever heard. How do you feel about your performance, even though you just couldn't quite pull that off?
I'm very, very happy with how I performed. I wasn't quite sure how. I mean, one thing I can do is I can talk. I've proven time and time again I can't really answer trivia questions that well. So I thought, next step, let's argue about them instead. I've done quite well. I've done myself proud. Yeah, maybe a little bit of strategy next time. As you say, my openers are strong, but I just can't carry that on through. So maybe pull a little bit off of the opener and save it for the middle parts. But yeah, Kurt put on a hell of a fight. I mean, I'll be brutally honest. I should have gone R2. I decided not to go with R2D2 because I had a good enough argument against him. I could have argued that one just as well, but yeah. Richard again did really. It's so weird because as I'm looking, obviously, I'm just looking at a blank screen. I'm not used to not being able to see the person that I'm fighting. It's yeah,
strategy.
I'm looking forward to come back next time you'll have me. Yeah, it'd be good.
Absolutely, you'll definitely be back. I can speak for the other admins when I say that. And we will go over to our unfortunate loser today, Richard Schwartz. How do you feel? You put up a lot of really good arguments. I mean, you won Cody a couple times, just couldn't quite get the main round points. How do you feel?
It happens. It's not really strategy. It's just I have a crappy phone, so that's my connection just sucks. So that's why my camera's just blanked out. So I wasn't doing anything strategically. My picture's frozen. I did my best. Not my best. Like I said, my biggest problem is the way I talk sometimes. It's hard for me to, when I'm kind of the nerves always gets to me, so my thought process isn't always as clear as it usually is before and after the matches. Honestly, I think I should have won the Deadpool one because their little knocks on me weren't really knocks. I explained it. That's exactly what a Deadpool fight's supposed to be, comedy gore. That was all they really hit me on, was the fact that it was bad jokes. But, it is what it is. It happens. At least I got some people's, votes once couple matches, so it's not like I was like a complete destruction. I'm always going to come back stronger and looking forward to whenever my next match is. Just the more I do it, the better I get, and I had fun. And congrats to Kirk.
Absolutely. But with that, we are going to wrap this one up. So for everyone, that has been Kirk, that has been Dave, that has been Richard, that has been Cody over there, that has been Andrew right here, I have been Caleb, and for all of us, thank you for watching Nerdgasm. We will see you guys real soon with another great match.